Brother Simon and the Collective of Redemption.
Hey!
My confession comes from nearly 20 years ago when I was a Church of England curate, learning how to become a vicar with on-the-job training. The incident in question took place at a funeral of an old man who had a small but loving family around him, including his daughter and her 5-year-old son. Outside the church after the service, and whilst the coffin was being loaded into the hearse, the young boy came to me and said, as most young children might do, "Is Grandad in the box?" Well, I looked at his mum and she was a little upset, so I told the boy that yes, Grandad was in the box, but that actually Grandad had gone to heaven to be with Jesus. So he looks at me, he says, "How's that then?"
Oh, good question.
How does he do that?
Yeah.
How does that work? Looking at his mum again, she was beginning to shake a little, so I continued, feeling that my ministry might be on the line in some way. "Well," I said, "he's gone on a journey to heaven without us." The boy just stared at me and looked as though I was talking rubbish, a look I'd seen before. And so, looking upwards for inspiration, as curates are prone to do, I saw an aeroplane passing and I had an idea. And I remembered an old sermon of mine about a sailing ship leaving a harbour only to arrive at another harbour just over the horizon. But then I was thinking, a young lad, he's only 5, he won't be able to comprehend a sailing ship and horizons. Very good for World Maritime Day. I really just realised that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't understand the horizon, so I thought I'd use the aeroplane instead. "It's like," I said, "it's like Grandad got on that plane," I said, pointing to the sky. "It took off and he'll be at another airport soon." The young lad's eyes open wide. "What?" he says. "Grandad's dead on that plane," he says in a loud voice for all the mourners to hear. And he went off then telling everyone, "Grandad's dead on that plane, look. Probably going to Ibiza," he adds. Why Ibiza, I have no idea. So I look at his mum. Takes a left turn now. So I look at his mum again, and this time she's crying. Now, tears of grief or laughter, I can't possibly know. So I reached down to hold her hand to comfort her, only to find she'd moved her hand, and I found myself gripping her upper thigh instead.
What?
I felt as though my ministry might be on the line.
Yes, again. Yes,
twice
it
within
is.
a minute.
Definitely on the line now.
It's a roller coaster of a funeral.
Anyway, the young lad was suddenly bundled away into the limo, and Mum quickly moved away from me to join him.
Quite right.
Now, this is where it gets complicated. So hang on. I seek forgiveness, not necessarily from the grieving mum whose thigh I inadvertently held. An honest mistake.
Okay, go on.
Not from the young lad who'd be about 25 now and hopefully over the whole trauma of a vicar trying to explain how we get into heaven. I seek forgiveness from the passengers of an EasyJet flight who apparently 2 weeks later had to suffer a 5-year-old lad refusing to board the plane, going up to everyone on the plane saying, "Everyone on this plane is going to heaven. We're all going to heaven." The Rev says I was only trying to help. Apparently it's all my fault, and my ministry is once again on the line. Well, he was trying to help. He was asked a question, and with his training, he gave a theologically sound answer. However, there are implications for this, as the poor passengers on the EasyJet flight found out to their cost a couple of weeks later. You just wouldn't want that. If you're a nervous flyer, you don't want someone coming up to you telling you that. Anyway, Sister Bobby.
Where was the mother?
I was laughing. I did not see that coming. That is
Well, it
such
took a couple
lovely
of-
story. It didn't.
The thigh? Where did the thigh come in?
Yes.
Neither did the cabin crew.
Huh?
No, the cabin crew was surprised.
I think so. So, just taking it back to the first situation
Yes.
is how you explain to anybody, never mind a 5-year-old. What can you do? You can only do your best, and sometimes you don't get it right, and sometimes you do.
And
So I
if you
think-
ask the vicar's going to say a particular something.
yeah, and of course, there's the kind of a few laughters through, a bit of cheer through the laugh, laughter through the tears and all all that is fine, I think, with your congregation and with the lady in question. I don't know about the hand mistake, thigh thing. We'll just skip that over. But as for the passengers, I think in most cases you just laugh. You never know what kids are going to say. And also, flying is heaven. As long as you've got a cup of tea and a sandwich. It depends on
Very
your idea of
profound,
heaven,
very
isn't
profound,
it?
Bobby.
So
All right.
there you go. So you're forgiven.
Okay. And Nigel here.
Yeah, my boys, 2 older boys, are taught by someone called the Rev. And he is a reverend. And it might be a coincidence. I think there are a few out there. But he's the type of thing that he would do. He would have helped, pass things through on a funeral and get it terribly wrong, particularly the thighs are us moment. That wasn't good, was it? But also, I'm intrigued to know how they knew about the EasyJet flight, how that relayed back to the
Heard the
rectory.
story.
Yeah, absolutely. But about
His
that.
fault.
And where was the mother to keep control of a child rampaging through the EasyJet flight, saying, we're all
She
going
hasn't
to
recovered
heaven?
from the thigh incident.
I know. She's got a lot going on, hasn't she? And tears of joy or laughter. Rev, you're absolutely forgiven. You were just doing your best, mate.
He was. Okay. Matthew.
I think what this incident teaches us all is the difficulty with metaphors, particularly when dealing with theology. And doesn't theology, in a funny way, always deal with metaphors in a way? That's what I'm taking from it. Also, the other little life lesson is watch where you're putting your hands when you're at a funeral. That's a little
Well,
thing.
he
I don't
thought he
think
was just trying to hold
most of us
her
probably don't
hand.
need to be told that, but obviously the Rev
He was
needs
trying to be comforting.
He's probably thinking to himself, next time I'm at a funeral, maybe look where my hand's going before I try to clasp. So I am going to